all of the money that he makes, he donates about 0.2%. So when he says that he gives all of his money away, that is not true.
Of course it's not true! People have been lying about this for decades!
Allegedly, potentially participating in market manipulation and rug pulls as well.
Oh my God, no way. Rich people are dishonest about how they get rich and how they use their money? How do you think they became billionaires? Subscribe!
New MrBeast allegations have dropped yet again, and this time it's involving faking parts of charity work and allegedly some shady crypto stuff. So last time on the MrBeast saga, we covered the fact that he got sued by contestants on his Beast Games Amazon show, and we covered the whole Lunchly disaster with KSI and Logan Paul, and we even made a full recap of everything so far. But this time,
I think that the Lunchly thing is pretty dumb. I think that the Lunchly thing is pretty stupid. However, I will say that I do love the absolute crash outs occurring from Logan Paul and KSI about it. It is hysterical. They cannot stop tweeting about it. They cannot stop whining about it. They cannot get over it. It is the funniest thing I have ever witnessed on Twitter, having a train run on them by random YouTube or by random Twitter users, by the community notes, by everyone. It is so funny to me. It has been a joy to watch.
We have new massive allegations by Rosanna and Dogpack, who allege that MrBeast may be faking the extent of his charity work, as well as maybe involved in some shady crypto stuff, potentially market manipulation, and much more, which would fit right in line with his two best buddies, Logan and KSI. So
we're gonna need some very, very solid evidence for this. I want to say that for all of this, because this is if we're giving some circumstantial tinfoil hat, I'm going to be annoyed.
Rosanna Pansino posted a video about a week ago.
Because to be clear, the reason why I'm going to be annoyed is because I don't want to defend MrBeast. I don't want to be on his side. He's scary. I think he's wearing someone's skin. He gives a certain lizard person vibe that makes me very uncomfortable. However, we cannot, we have to have good evidence for our information. I'm going to be mad if this is not well evidenced because I don't want to defend this. He scares me. He terrifies me. I don't like it.
Oh, MrBeast is a criminal leaked video. So let's start with the part about philanthropy where MrBeast allegedly convinces his audience that he built an entire hospital when he just didn't.
A few months ago, at the very top of a 9,000-foot mountain in a remote part of Nepal, this hospital looked like this.
That looks CGI.
But if you don't see the CGI at home, I'll point it out. This is the before shot of the hospital. This is the after shot, and then same thing over here. What I noticed is that Dan Mace, who's the director on Beast Philanthropy, did a behind-the-scenes video for this shoot where they build a hospital in Nepal or whatever.
I started off by getting the opening shots. I like to call these plinky plonk match cuts. These are great for
this. The building looks very different than in shots like this. And you know, for one example, there's like moss growing here, which is
it looks more decrepit.
Yeah, and it's like
this
the concrete's breaking down right here. There's like holes in the roof. There's like all this random crap.
But in the real shot, there's no moss.
Yeah.
There's no decrepit.
Right here, you'll notice this pillar, 2 white lines. Right here, same pillar, 2 white lines. But there's a building behind it. So in this,
Is this proof that we're lying about having done something, or is this proof that MrBeast used CGI to dramatize how much he did do? Because, again, we'll have to see more of this, but so far right now, and this is still scummy, I want to be clear about that. I still think that it's scummy either way, but right now, what it looks like is that there has been CGI used or AI used to make it look like they did more than they actually did for the building, because this is a more decrepit building than this one, right? This is the real one, and this is the one they're saying is CGI'd. Is it still scummy to make it look like they accomplished more and had less to work with than they did? Absolutely. Like that's still scummy, and still obviously is proof of how little authenticity is part of the content. But I don't think this is proof of it not having been done at all. So we'll see.
Opening shot where MrBeast says, "This is what the hospital looked like a month ago." They digitally removed the entire hospital to make it look like they built the hospital.
Like they built the bigger building.
Yeah. But they didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so obviously really bad if true, because MrBeast's #1 defense is I do charity work, therefore everything shady I do is automatically okay. But if the charity
Fair.
work is not even what you say, then how can anybody possibly trust you again? And I gotta say, digitally removing an entire building in a before and after to make it seem like you built the whole hospital is absolutely insane work, okay?
Again, I think it is a scummy practice to sensationalize and exaggerate how much work was actually done. However, if the work was done, I don't think that that's like totally faking. Like, it still costs an insane amount of money and resources to make a hospital usable if it is a concrete like block, essentially. I just don't I don't know.
Building
man.
hospitals can cost like $100 million, so obviously he's not spending that much on his charity. And the thing is, he does fake some of his regular videos, but we all assume that the charity and philanthropy has to be completely true. But you can't be doing this sort of shady editing to make the video look better when it comes to charity. Now, obviously, adding special effects here and there is completely fine, but when it comes to charity work, you have to say and show exactly what you did, because there are people on the other side paying you to do the things you say you do. So if you
Right.
show people that you are building hospitals in the visuals, and even convincing your sponsor, Minecraft, that that's actually what you did when you're actually just installing solar panels, that is absolutely scumbag behavior.
I don't think to make that a usable hospital, it would be the same as just installing some solar panels. That's kind of what I'm saying is the amount of money and effort and resources it takes to make that a usable hospital, not to build it out, because they're already using a shell of a building regardless. But to make that a usable hospital is still substantial. That's not just putting up solar panels. It is so hard to differentiate when somebody is giving an actual valid criticism and someone is sort of like not fibbing, but like not presenting details accurately or in good faith. It is not in good faith to say that all they did was do some solar panels. Medical equipment is insanely, stupidly expensive. And if he made a working hospital out of what was there, even if it was more than what he showed was there, that's still insane. And again, I don't want to glaze Mr. Beast. I don't like Jimmy Breast. I've never liked Jimmy Breast. He makes me feel weird. I don't like his content. I'm not a Jimmy Glazer. Okay? But at the same time, there's nuance here.
So I actually went to the video. It's called We Powered a Mountain, and people from Nepal have actually commented, pointing it out. I'm from Nepal, and this place is located in the Sinduli district. People from Sinduli say that he only added the solar lights in the hospital, but the building itself was built by the Nepali government and not Mr. Beast. Yep,
Okay.
every couple weeks we learn something absolutely crazy about Mr. Beast yet again. If hiring a bunch of criminals wasn't enough, having registered offenders in your video.
Okay, so see, because now I have all these questions, and now the only way for me to get these questions answered is to go watch a Mr. Beast video. Can we get some proof of any of this? The energy was giving reaching, and it's giving a bit of reaching right now. And it's like, is he claiming to have built the hospital itself? What is he claiming? Like, was it already a functioning hospital? Because it didn't look like that. Like, I don't understand. Am I like,
all the shady stuff with illegal lotteries, feastables, beast games. He had to go and fake elements of the charity work as well. And that's why it was important to point out that Mr. Beast fakes his videos, because clearly that trend is not just for the entertainment videos, but carries over to the philanthropy and charity work, which is absolutely unacceptable in my opinion. Now, it turns out Mr. Beast also added a little bit of that editing magic to make the place look way more trashy and decrepit and broken down, to make it look like it was worse in the before picture, and then he fixed it and magically made it absolutely perfect.
But yeah, they did that to make it look all broken down and decrepit, adding all these like all this trash. Like this looks like a PlayStation 2 graphic.
It doesn't have any of that in the video.
And these pictures were used in news articles to show that Mr. Beast revitalizes Nepal hospital. But they actually...
like, okay, yes, it's scummy to do. It's not honest. But did he still do benefit to people? Like, real benefit? Like, it's also, if the video is that he powered an entire mountain, then is he claiming to have built the hospital? It sounds like revitalizes seems accurate. It's just like, it is scummy to exaggerate, but it's just weird.
did in the video was just install solar panels. They didn't build the hospital, but he made it seem like they did. And the danger with this is like, where do you draw the line?
Right.
Because if you're exaggerating what you're doing as a charity, then you're taking attention and funding away from other charities who might be more honest. Because like, why would I donate to someone who's, raising guide dogs for blind people when MrBeast can just apparently cure blindness, according to his video?
Okay, Dogpack actually has a very good point there, because when you exaggerate charity, it's a very slippery slope. And some people might be donating to you instead of another charity that might actually be doing more than you, because that charity is actually honest with what it says it does. Meanwhile, you are basically lying. Now, in this next part,
Does MrBeast take donations? I was under the impression that this was done kind of with his own money. He does. That's definitely an interesting point of this for sure. That doesn't make any sense. It's giving tax breaks. It's giving tax breaks. It's giving that is weird. But is there proof of him taking donations for this stuff? If so, that I think is super scummy, because he's framing it as like, I'm using my money for philanthropy reasons. If it's a charity, that's very different.
already shows how a house they built might be fake too, or at least they added some CGI elements.
This secluded town in the middle of nowhere looked like this.
You saw it?
That building. Just look at how fake this tank looks.
That's definitely a fake
Look
tank.
how fake these flowers are.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm a girl. I know my flowers. Okay. No.
So, but I think there is some part of a real building here. But then they just use generative AI or editing or whatever to expand it, because it's like there's things. Look at that.
It's no.
And then like the building here is like expanding, so it's like they added on the whole back half of the building. The flowers here are like not lining up. You can barely tell that this is faked. So like, how many things like this are they getting away with where they're making it look like they did more than they actually did? Because they say that this is what the town looks like now, and then this is what it looked like before.
Yeah.
And it's just not true.
It's just
That hypothetically speaking, can also be like a particular filter or effect that you use that is already preloaded, hypothetically. And I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm saying that can also be an explanation. And I also do think that this probably is happening. I heard a rumor that MrBeast accepts sponsorship money to perform this philanthropy, so he'll pay for all of this. However, the company supporting him will pay him more than the project, allegedly. That was in the court document about the MrBeast, about the Beast games. That was alleged by the lawyers themselves, essentially, by that document, that's how he does the philanthropy. I am not aware of MrBeast asking for donations for his philanthropy, so that part is actually legitimately concerning to me, if that is true. But my understanding was that it was supposed to be from his money, quote unquote, not that if he's a nonprofit, or has a nonprofit. That is super weird.
it's honest.
No, it's completely deceptive.
Okay, again, these are just allegations, but it's really hard to trust someone who is editing their before and afters, right? Because now I'm thinking, right, based on that previous one, was that really how the town looked before, or did you edit it to make it look worse? And is this really how the house looks now, or have you CGI inserted a tank and CGI inserted a bunch of flowers and random stuff here and there to make the house look better than it actually is? It is extremely dishonest to do stuff this way. And why is the house freaking wavy? Now, that might possibly be some sort of a editing effect. Maybe it's like a transition they use. That's what I assumed immediately. But again, maybe it's purposely put there to greatly exaggerate the house and fake it so that people don't notice that these parts are fake. It's just
Well, maybe the town never existed at all, and all of those people are AI generated, and nothing is real. Maybe, hypothetically, Mr. Beast isn't even real, and he's just a wizard person hologram that goes around and does Mr. Beast stuff. Maybe, hypothetically. Maybe.
genuinely heartbreaking to hear that a lot of the charity stuff might be fake or exaggerated as well. And I just don't understand why they just can't be straight up and honest about it. But apparently maximizing YouTube views is above doing honest charity work.
This is a message from a former MrBeast employee who knows of the philanthropy. He says, I was told that the philanthropy side was supposed to be Jimmy's get out of jail free card if he ever got canceled. They wanted Jimmy to win a Nobel Prize within the next few years.
Whoa!
Parts are cut out for privacy. It's all just for clout and social status. I feel like them helping people is literally on the bottom of their to-do list.
I'm gonna be real. I'm not surprised by that, if true. And I would not have been surprised by that 6 months ago either. Let's be for real. Most of the reasons why really rich people and really famous people and like political people do philanthropy is for this exact reason. That's how that works. Let's be honest, that billionaires don't really give a fuck about other people. Like, let's be so for real that politicians don't really give a fuck to help people. Is this surprising to me? Absolutely not. We can still appreciate, I guess, that it happened, but I'm not surprised. And at no point would I have ever been surprised that Mr. Beast is not actually from the bottom of his heart like a philanthropist because you get tax write-offs, you get good social status. It is a get out of jail free card. It has been for him as well.
Making it look like they did more than they actually did. Here's one where he claimed to build 100 wells, but in multiple shots, you see the same wells listed as different wells. Well 29 and 67 were the same. He also said he built a bunch of wells in Kenya, but then showed wells that were clearly built in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
This can also just be seen as cutting corners. Again, if all of this is true, I am happy to believe it. I have no desire to defend Monsieur Breast. However, this can also just be seen as we took a limited number of shots and we're cutting corners. We're not going to go back to Africa to get more shots. We're just going to CG it in or exaggerate or fib a little bit. To a certain extent, there are parts of this that are genuinely deceptive and gross that he's doing it. But it can be explained in a lot of ways and not specifically. He's been lying about the philanthropy the whole time. He's been lying about it.
Clear now that the charity is just a way of propelling his brand because he's clearly obsessed with being the biggest and having the biggest reputation. And a lot of people will see that sort of charity work and want to work with him. I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes he did not care about a single about any of this stuff. But the thing is, he has.
Okay, I doubt that most people who are like billionaires or politicians or celebrities really give a fuck about a lot of that stuff. Sorry, maybe I'm cynical and I don't really I'm a bit of a misanthropist, you know, misanthropist. I don't really believe in other people. I don't believe in the goodness of human beings, you know, whatever. That doesn't negate that it happened. I don't think Mr. Beast gives a fuck about any of the I don't think he cares about any of the charity that he's done. And I don't think realistically that most billionaires and mega super wealthy people and all those things give a singular fuck, and I don't think they ever have. Very few people are legitimately charitable in that way. I don't know why this is being like, oh, this is so insane that he doesn't care. I always thought he cared so much. I never did. And you really shouldn't. You should not assume that people care.
I've been caught lying in the past where he would say that, oh, I just reinvest all my money back into my videos or into the charity and I'm actually poor. But that's not the case, as we'll see in the next portion.
Obviously not.
Where Jimmy's gambling over $10 million in his random crypto stuff and is allegedly potentially participating in market manipulation and rug pulls as well.
Oh my God, no way. Rich people are dishonest about how they get rich and how they use their money? Mega wealthy people? I'm gooped, I'm gagged, I'm shocked. Never heard of that before.
And obviously, none of that money was reserved for charity. Here's Rosanna also showing the disparity between how much Jimmy actually earns and how much goes to his charity.
In the Time magazine article where he was interviewed called In the Belly of the Beast, Jimmy says that he brings in about $700 million in revenue a year. And Jimmy Donaldson defends his philanthropic work against charges of poverty profiteering by pointing out that it is funded by his main channel, which sends the charity $100,000 a month. Let's do a little bit of basic math. So annual revenue, $700 million, and you're donating $100K to your charity every month. What percentage is that? What percentage of all of your revenue is donated to your charity? Out of
This just in, millionaires and billionaires are not usually very good people. Is this the first time we've learned this as the internet? We never figured that out before. I don't know why we're acting surprised. I also gotta say, I understand, hating on somebody real hard and not liking somebody and thinking they're a shitty person. I totally do. But the reason I don't like to particularly refer to Rosanna Pansino is because she seems so blinded by her legitimate hatred for Mr. Beast after everything that went on with her being in one of his videos and her getting sort of harassed by his audience and all of those things. I feel like her dislike for Mr. Beast overtakes her ability to accurately talk about these things and honestly, in a nuanced way, discuss these things. And I don't like when nuance is taken away, when shades of gray are removed and it has to be black and white. These are not surprising things. The fact that people are surprised, I'm going to be honest, is a little bit silly. Billionaires are almost never good people. Rich people are never really honest about how they use their money. But I don't know, man. It's just, I don't like hearing from her specifically because it seems like she's willing to twist absolutely anything for the benefit of painting him out to be as bad as possible.
all of the money that he makes, he donates about 0.2% to charity. That donating that money is also a tax write-off.
Well,
so
of
when he
course.
says that he gives all of his money away, that is not true. And when he says he reinvests all
Why did anybody think it was true? I'm just having a really hard time listening, hearing her out on this, or hearing anybody out on this. Of course it's not true! People have been lying about this for decades! People have been lying about this before YouTube existed, before the internet existed. was lying about how much money they made and what they used it on. That's what rich people do. Of course. This is not groundbreaking. Honestly, we need to be having a genuine conversation about why anybody believed any of that. It's absurd.
All the money into his videos, that is also not true.
Of course
Okay,
not.
so obviously MrBeast has expenses as well, and not every one of that 700 million is going to be going to charity or his videos. But clearly charity is not a priority if it's 0.2%, right? Like he makes it seem. And that whole stick of, oh, I'm a billionaire, but I'm still poor is just absolutely stupid. He's obviously filthy rich and obviously has tens of millions of dollars to spare for his own leisure and his own addictions, such as gambling. So that stuff about reinvesting 100% back is just completely false. And I know.
Yeah, of course it is. Obviously. And I would not have been surprised to hear that before all of the other shit came out. Since when did we trust billionaires?
You know, immediately when you call out MrBeast doing all the shady stuff regarding his charity, people are going to be in the comments being like, well, have you given $100,000 to charity? As if you give money to charity, you can't be criticized about absolutely anything. There's obviously been tons of extremely shady people who've given tons of money to charity, all right? We're just pointing out the inconsistency, the lies, and just the exaggeration, which is not cool, you know? Anyways, that
I think that we should point out the naivety of anybody who took any of this shit seriously. I'm gonna be real. Where's your critical thinking? I get the kids. All right, I get it. I get it if you're 10 and Mr. B says that he's a philanthropist who will give you $1 million if you subscribe right now. I get it. I really do. I get it. I do. Any adult that took this shit seriously above the age of, like, I'll give you up until 21. That was your fault.
was the charity portion of the video, but now we got to move on to the shady crypto stuff, starting with them allegedly admitting to market manipulation in Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive.
Here he is with Logan Paul admitting to partaking in what sounds to me like market manipulation.
So me and Logan both bought punks. You guys have probably seen on his Twitter that he bought a bunch of crypto punks at the same time, right?
Yep.
Gary pulled us in
Yep.
that call.
Yep.
So have you ever told that story?
No.
Gary V, it's like fucking 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, "Yo, I got like 30 people to call. Hop in." I'm like, I don't care. He's like, "It'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in." I was
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
yeah.
And so I just joined the call and I just see like Logan and I don't even know these other people. I
Yo.
don't want to put them on blast.
Every heavy hitter you can imagine who's worth $1 billion was on this one call, and Gary V is in the little corner, the little square. He's going, CryptoPunks. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the next Facebook. We're all of us. We're like, okay,
Everyone's
Gary.
judging. I'm texting Logan and
He's
I'm like, Gary lost
is
his
this
mind.
legit? Bro, all of us are like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
Yeah,
What
well,
the f-
we gotta keep the story going. So there's like all these like very successful people in this call, and Gary's just like, everyone shut the f up. Here's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it right now. You're all gonna buy a bunch of CryptoPunks, and we're all just like, he's like, who here owns one? And like one guy raised his hand, and it's because Gary bullied him into buying it the day before.
Oh no. So you have all these billionaires in one call and you got Gary Vee saying, hey guys, we can make another bajillion dollars right now. All you gotta do is buy this one thing. Actually, I'm 100% confident because all of you, by buying this stuff, you're basically gonna be changing the market here. Not to mention,
Besties. Rich people do that. They always have for a really, really long time. This is not new behavior from rich people. We can still criticize it, but acting like it's like this shocking revelation that billionaires have been influencing the stock market. How do you think they became billionaires? People do not become billionaires because they're good people. People do not become billionaires because they care about their fellow man. People become billionaires because they do that billionaires have to do. Rich people influence the market. They manipulate the market. They have always done this. This is not like new. And yeah, is it technically illegal? Absolutely. But they're rich. They don't give a insane.
half of these guys are also influencers who are going to be promoting it to their audience. So obviously you're going to be artificially inflating the price of the asset and then you're going to sell it after doing a pump and dump. Very shady thing to admit on the podcast. Not sure how this made it in. That you just got a clique of billionaire friends who just allegedly manipulate the market.
When Jimmy's talking about the
Yes. I mean, I don't know. Yes. Is it scummy? Obviously that's scummy. Crypto in general is like generally scummy. Why are we pretending like this is new behavior, that we're surprised? Why did anyone genuinely think that people like Logan Paul and Mr. Beast were not doing this kind of shit? Granted, I'll say it was dumb to keep that in the podcast. Should have been edited out 100%. But can we be so for real?
phone call with the billionaires, it sounds like the billionaires are coordinating together to buy an asset. And then when they buy that asset and promote it to their fans, it becomes more valuable. and then they sell. Classic pump and dump. Also, when Gary Vee says, this will be the best decision of your life, I'm just asking questions, but does that sound like he has insider information to anyone else? Does it sound like
Yes, allegedly. That's exactly what it sounds like. He's a rich person. That's what rich people do.
that?
I mean, it definitely sounds like that, but I don't think this is a U.S. congressman situation over here. I do think that
U.S. congressmen allegedly also do this kind of shit. Lots of politicians do this kind of shit specifically. Yes. Everybody, rich people do this. Yes.
they can just influence the market to a large degree with their audiences and stuff. Definitely shady behavior. I'm not gonna say he has inside info, but definitely not good to be associated with this for the #1 YouTuber. Now, after this, MrBeast actually admits to buying some of these NFTs, and as we know, everybody on the internet loves NFTs, and they're totally not associated with scams or scummy behavior at all.
I was just so pulled by his like conviction that I bought a bunch.
Wait.
Yeah, I bought quite a few.
How many?
I don't want to say, but
You have to say,
please.
bro, you have to.
I bought multiple ones. Yeah.
Well, bro, are you in double digits, Punks?
Double, just shy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool, cool.
So
He's imagine you just said 60. Three zombies.
I bought like 8 of them, and they did pretty good.
And any zingers? Any like real special
yeah,
ones?
I had some that like whatever 20, 30x.
What's a?
We bought a lot.
20, 30 times. Again, this is not surprising behavior. I guess more so the amount of money. When you remember how much money is being pushed around is crazy. You know? Oh God.
Like the cigarettes, because I
Cool.
thought that was an interesting attribute, and those did pretty well.
What's another characteristic? Like, what's your rarest characteristic, Punk?
So then I rolled the money into V Friends because Gary, same thing, called me. He's like, V Friends. I was like, I don't fucking know, but last time I made money, sure.
Yeah, good idea. I'm just gonna do exactly what Gary Vee says. Somehow, I don't know how he's doing it, guys, but he's just generating money for me out of thin air. Now, the funniest
I'm gonna be real. Here's a story that I can tell that demonstrates why I think this is kind of silly. I guess maybe making people aware of it is fair enough, but acting like everyone is surprised that MrBeast is not genuinely like the best guy ever and basically Jesus is insane. My father-in-law is really into stocks, and he was talking about when he visited us recently how everybody knows that certain types of, I don't remember what they're called, but certain things are not worth even bothering with because unless you have insider information, you're not going to make money that way. Do you think people who have billions, millions of dollars are putting millions of their dollars not sure that they're going to make that money back? Do you think that people who are billionaires are making risky investments? Of course they're not. Of course they have insider information. Of course they are doing that based off of insider information. That's how it works.
thing is, to anybody outside of their bubble, they can immediately tell that this is extremely shady. And Mike, which is Logan Paul's podcast host, is just like, wait a minute, guys, are you sure you're not manipulating the market here?
Can I ask you guys a question? When Gary does that call with all these billionaires, and 8 months or a year later, everybody's like, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's right because of the call? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think about that a lot.
dude, he has all of these
I think about
billionaire
that a
market
lot.
makers in the thing.
think about
He
that a
makes the
lot.
call, makes the market. By the way, you look around at all the punk owners a year later, and you're like, damn, it's all the same fuckers that were on the call.
No, because bro, there's 10,000 punks, and there's only like 30 of us on the call. We can only own and do so much. There's still an entire market that's gonna happen regardless.
I can tell you, I don't think why, because that was all back like early February.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm actually manipulating the market here. Like, no, why would I think that? That would make me a scumbag, which I'm obviously not. How ironic is it that he's talking to Logan Paul, who ran CryptoZoo, allegedly one of the biggest scams, and Logan also talks about this legendary idea to make a lot of money really quickly right after this, and he wants MrBeast to get in on it as well.
Every get rich quick scheme is inherently probably a bit of a scammy kind of thing to do. But anything that provides a of money very, very quickly at the end of the day is probably a bit of a scam or a bit of a scheme, a bit of tricking and fooling. Yes, this is what rich people do. It's scummy to see it, and you don't want to. MrBeast is not a person in that way. He's an entity. He's a billionaire. When people become billionaires like this, it stops being about human. It starts being about things that like normal people can't really comprehend because you're not a billionaire. It's you're moving amounts of money that people won't have like made in their entire lifetime. You understand how like your perspective changes from that? I guess to me, it's like, yes, is it scummy? Absolutely. Am I surprised? No. I think it's good to talk about, but being like, oh my God, he's been lying to us the whole time. Well, he's rich, and if you believed him, you were dumb.
So I wonder what that sounds like. It's very familiar to something. I don't know what it is.
Gary called me, and we have these talks. Like we talk probably every other day at least.
Yeah.
And he called me like a month ago. He's like, Logan, I promise you, like, I know you, you're a smart kid. If you play this right, like I know you can, like you did with Pokemon, the NFT industry, you can make $250 million. And I go,
how do you not like perk up?
How's this? But he's never wrong, right? So that's where I started.
Yeah.
And then, bro, the other day, I got the idea.
Yeah.
$250 million.
And I want to run it by you, not now, off the podcast, but I'm pretty sure I had the most revolutionary, monumental piece of IP in my head, and I've been I can't sleep for the past like 2 days.
So like for making your own version of Punk?
No. Just a really special NFT project.
Yeah, guys, it's just a really special NFT project. Thank you, Logan. What an amazing idea. I feel like you're just a crypto NFT expert, actually. I'll be taking all of my advice from you from now on. Now you know why KSI, MrBeast, and Logan Paul were actually working together. They've been doing this stuff behind the scenes all the time, and they have actually been, discussing all of their business together and, finding any which way to make money and extract money from their audiences.
Yeah.
Absolute scumbags.
Well, here's
Absolutely.
a tweet of him promoting it. At Gary V. I'm loaded up on some V friends. Can't wait to see what you do.
MrBeast is like that stereotypical character in like any TV show where they have like dollar bills in their eyes. He's like a Mr. Krabs, basically.
Yes.
Like, money? Did I hear money? Money? Sign me
Yes.
right up, baby. Can I just say how idiotic you have to be to actually admit this on the internet? And
That's fair. Is saying all of this so very specifically on the internet is stupid. But am I surprised and shocked? No.
and even upload it to the Impulsive Clips channel as well. Even the comment section just can't believe what they're hearing, and they're all calling them out.
Admitting to market manipulation on YouTube, LMAO. Gary running the greatest insider pump and dump group, lol. How is everyone such a big fan of him? If this were equities, they'd all be jailed for market manipulation. I like how casually MrBeast is discussing doing a rug pull. How is this man not in prison and instead is a top YouTuber?
Because being a good person is not profitable. Being an honorable person is not profitable, at least not in this way. You can be profitable and be a good person and be a philanthropic person and be somebody who cares about other people. You cannot be a billionaire and be that. That's not how that works. So,
well, I don't know. That's kind of what it
It
takes
is.
to become a top YouTuber these days. KSI, Logan, and MrBeast, all top YouTubers, and all have done extremely shady things. It's just not surprising at this point, and I'm just glad everybody is starting to see the truth bit by bit. Obviously, the dog pack video
will this get punished? No, this is America. Well, they're talking about Bitcoin, which is highly unregulated. So they don't risk a lot by saying it on the internet because it's not like stocks. It's Bitcoin, which is a lawless land.
Video saga exposed a lot of the blemishes on MrBeast's team, and Dogpack continues his investigation. Although he hasn't been uploading on his channel, he's been looking into MrBeast's crypto wallets, and he's found over $10 million there.
I give my money away. I'm poor.
Like, please cut the crap. You're not poor.
He goes by the name Wu-Tang Clan. So some notable things about this account: it was worth over $10 million in April of 2021.
Oh my goodness, look at that one. That's a high spike. Wait, how much is that?
That's a
again?
lot of money for a guy who gives away all his money.
How much is that?
That's over $10 million. He had invested in this company called Refinable. He had invested, and it seems like he allowed this company to use his likeness. He was certainly letting them use his brand to promote this cryptocurrency. I do have his crypto account, and it did receive $560,000 in Refinable token. But I mean, anything could have happened. I mean, he could have got that randomly from anyone. MrBeast having invested in Refinable.
Oh, got it. So they tweet about it.
They tweet about, and then the price went up, and then he sold.
it. Right.
And now, currently today, Refinable is down 99.97%, which is worse than Logan Paul's CryptoZoo token.
Wow, what a great investment with MrBeast's face on it. Down 99.7. Wow, I would love to buy some of that, bruh.
I'll be honest, I think this is more of a, problem of Bitcoin stuff not being regulated. Like it's not good behavior, but this is more of an issue of this is not regulated. If you aren't rich, crypto is a scam. Absolutely. If you are rich, it's a great investment. If you're rich and you're rich enough to be able to make these kind of enhancements, as we said earlier, yeah, it's absolutely worth it. But this is a crypto problem, and again, I just don't understand being shocked.
Looks exactly like a rug pull. He might have given them permission to use his face or something, because otherwise I'd imagine they'd get sued or taken down or something. Maybe they used it without his permission or whatever. I can't confirm any of that or whatever, but any crypto investigative experts, please let me know. CoffeeZilla, please look into this. You've already taken down Logan and KSI. It's time for Mr. Beast. It's time for the biggest dog of them all.
A couple months later, he did invest in another project called XCAD with KSI. 2 months after receiving $277,000 in XCAD, he sold it all. I'm not saying it's a pump and dump, but he allowed them to use his likeness, pumping the currency, and then dumped it. Yeah, so it seems like
Am I too cynical, chat? Is it just that I'm a cynical gal and I just don't believe in the good of humanity or billionaires or something? Because it's like, yeah, it's good to point out who the was believing that Mr. Beast was this like philanthropist from the bottom of his heart. I would not be so irritated if they framed it insofar as like all of the ways that Mr. Beast is a hypocrite, right? He says this and he does this. But being like, oh my God, he's not really a philanthropist who's using all of his money to help people? Well, yeah, obviously.
he's had millions of dollars to throw around in the crypto space, which is kind of strange considering that he claims to give all his money away and reinvest it into the videos.
So are you one of the rich people they want to eat? Or are you
I'm not that rich.
Not yet.
You are way more rich than me.
But I give my money away. I'm poor.
So he gives all of his money away. He's poor.
Jimmy's actually the brokest man ever. He is actually the poorest billionaire in the world. Now, Rosanna also calls out Mr. Beast for potentially illegally gambling on sites banned in the US.
And it appears that they are gambling on Bust-A-Bit, which is a website that is illegal in the United States.
Holy shit. Holy, that's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. The crazy thing is that people are here.
He says, oh, that's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. What you can see in the reflection of these large windows at night is the Bust-A-Bit website. This video is only a couple years old, so it shows that he is continuing to do this behavior, and not only gambling, but illegal gambling.
The amount of time he's actually promoted gambling to his child audience, despite losing a lot of money from gambling.
That picture is really, sorry. Linus Detective's picture is killing me. I mean, the illegal gambling sucks. That's true.
Himself and knowing the harms of it is pretty concerning for sure, especially that stuff he did with Feastables, making it a sort of lottery type mechanic as well.
I spent $30,000 on lottery tickets.
Ew, I do not like his
spent
something's not right about this.
$50,000 on scratch-off tickets.
Why does he look so bad? Does he usually have facial hair? Is that why I'm bothered? What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him?
Scratch-off tickets.
Why is he bald? Why is his face bald? Put it back on. Unbald your... No, stop. I didn't like the bare face. He didn't like it at all.
$1 million on scratch-off tickets.
And I really take issue with this because his videos are targeted at children.
Here's how it works.
Yeah.
You take a ticket, you scan it, and boom, this $50 ticket won $200. So far, we're up $150 with one ticket.
In this video, he is literally walking you through the steps of how to gamble.
Mr. Beast is...
This, I think this is way more compelling than him illegally gambling or gambling at all. I'm gonna be real. This is way more compelling to me than anything else in this video thus far. Teaching kids how to gamble, I think, is super, super duper up because they are not able or capable of like handling that with their brain. The rest of this I feel like it's just kind of like, yes, he's rich. Why are we painting this like, oh my God.
Teaching us gambling?
The easiest, making it very accessible and easy for kids to do.
All right,
yeah,
so
that's
definitely
fucked.
not something a child-friendly YouTuber should be doing. It's obvious Mr. Beast has an obsession with gambling and lotteries. And he's covered up his now deleted live stream giveaways as well, where he's allegedly conducting illegal lotteries. But I don't know. It is a cause of concern. Now, Mr. Beast is also getting some heat on Twitter for having a job position for AI artist. This is right after he gave Jaden Animation a prize for sending one of her fans to like art school or something. So pretty hypocritical.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Beast, go F yourself. Maybe put a real artist who needs a job on payroll instead of shilling out money for someone to put a prompt into a generator. Unbelievable. It's got 100K likes as well, and we got AI concept artist. Now,
Again, we need to understand that he's no longer operating like a human independent person who does stuff on the internet. You need to understand that Mr. Beast is an entity and a corporation. Do I think it's scummy? Yes! I do. I do think it's scummy, to be clear. However, you're seeing him as a person. He's not a person. He's a business. He operates as a business. His public persona is a business. His business is this. Please, please do not assume that billionaires are like you. They're not. I don't know. Like, I guess to me, I hear the amount of money that Mr. Beast throws around. I immediately just have a lot of criticism for literally anything he ever says. Billionaires are not like you. They're like, they're entities. They stop living on the same plane of existence as you.
Somebody actually made a pretty long thread going into some of Mr. Beast's crypto accounts and just finding some connections here and there. And basically they found that Mr. Beast has promoted Coinbase as a sponsor in one of his videos. And then he's actually cut it out later for a certain reason that somebody could possibly investigate. They also went through Mr. Beast's old Reddit account, and you can see that he's had some bad experiences with Coinbase, but still promoted it because money over everything. Now, they also found 16 different crypto wallets connected to Jimmy, some receiving millions of dollars. Obviously, that's not anything damning as it is, but I wouldn't know why you would need that many wallets unless you were doing something shady. But obviously, I'm not an investigator. But yeah, if somebody wants to look into that, go ahead. There's like an infinite amount of shady stuff this guy's done. But yeah, that's basically it for the updates. What an absolute wild ride. Let me know what you guys thought about all of this. And YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click that. And
I don't think this was that crazy. I think absolutely it's a lot of scummy, crappy, questionable behavior that I don't really respect. Absolutely. Billionaires doing scummy, shady. Oh my God, I'm shocked. And no, it's not how it is. Billionaires, especially billion. You have to understand how much more a billion is more than a million. A billionaire is not living life like you. And just because Mr. Beast is the face of that corporation does not make him like you. There's some cutoff point when they're huge, like when they're making that kind of money, you stop really operating on the same playing field as other people. Billions of dollars, millions of dollars. Like it's absurd. I think that this would have been, I guess for me to take it more seriously, would have been better framed as like just pointing out the inaccuracies and inconsistencies rather than being like, oh my God, Mr. Beast has been lying to us this whole entire time about being poor. He's been lying to us about his philanthropy. He's been lying to us about how much he spends on philanthropy. I'm shocked. Honestly, that's kind of a skill issue.